New video ya. Also check out the previous fruit review. So the fruit we will be reviewing today is string fruit, both the unawakened and awakened one. Like the past fruit review, the one with the letter symbolizes the awakened one. So first let's go through the unawakened string fruit. The unawakened string has 5 moves. The first move is rainbow strings, which sends out 5 strings with different colors. It is a close range skill that does a little knockback and not that much damage. The second skill is multi-string attack, which is a very small AoE move that stuns everything it hits, and the stun doesn't stun that long. It also needs good aim and prediction to hit. The third skill is overheated sniper. You shoot a fast and burning string that extends quite long and does decent damage. And the fourth skill is ultimate thread, a mid-range attack that sends out multiple purple threads that hits and stuns people that it hits. Last skill is string path, which turns you into Spider-Man and swing around. Take note that it goes up pretty slow. Here are some combos made for old worlders. The fighting style used is electric, which can't be fought in the old world. String isn't really good for PvP. Most of the people that use string are old worlders and people who wants to awaken it. But if you were to fight a max leveled player with string, you won't be able to do much, since it needs precise aim and prediction. Sting is bad for farming, just don't use it. Why is bad, you say? First, it isn't Logia. Second, its moves aren't that good for farming. Only good one is ultimate thread. Third is that it would take quite long to kill a whole stack of enemies. String could be usable for bosses, since you could just spam long range moves, but it isn't that good either. There are a lot of better options, which are namely the Logia fruits. Well, what more can I say? You can literally be both Spider-Man and Doflamingo at the same time. You can do cosplays and troll as the character. So to get the awakening, you must have access to the second C, and go to the laboratory. To start a raid, one must buy a chip with either a fruit or 100,000 cash. A raid is a time trial event, where you should clear all islands within a certain time limit. When doing raids, it is recommended to have a Buddha in your team since it has tanky health and can do fast and high damage to the enemies. There are also 5 islands, and in the 5th island is the boss, which is extremely tanky and has all the awakened skills of the fruit. After you clear all the islands, you get fragments based on your clear time, and if you have the specific fruit needed for the raid, you will get teleported to your inner self, and you can uncock the awakenings. Keep in mind you can only acquire 1 skill per raid. Like the unawakened one, the awakened string also has 5 moves, and all of them can be long pressed or hold, so basically the longer you cast the skill, the more damage or range you deal. The first skill is thermal laceration, where you send burning hot strings that can stun your targets. It also does medium damage. Next move is silk prison, which is a mini version of Doflamingo's birdcage in the anime. The longer you hold it, the larger it gets. It also does a stun when it hits, then knocks up the enemy afterwards. The third skill is eternal white, where you send out multiple large strings that smash into your target. The longer you hold it, the more strings it sends. Now the 5th skill is Heavenly Judgment, which sends out very long purple strings that stuns all enemies that gets caught in her strings. It has a very long range but needs precisely aim and timing to pull it off a fast enemy. And for the flight skill, God's Highway, it is way faster than string flight and it's easier to turn and change height than string path. It also quite fast, so it's a good mobility skill. I am extremely dumb at combos, so I tried multiple times just to do this combo that my crew member taught me. It's a pretty cool combo. but to start it, you need to catch your opponent with Silk Prison, which need precise aim and predictions, which I obviously don't have. I am sure there are a lot more combos for different builds that could make string look like a very up fruit. Too bad I suck at using string. String may still not be Logia, but it can do medium at farming, since it now has good AoE skills that could hit multiple targets, but even with that, it still doesn't kill stacks of opponents as fast as Logia fruits. But it can be usable. One problem is if you are dealing with high-level NPCs, they both drain your HP pretty fast. But it does decent in bosses, since it can stun and combo bosses. Well, so I'd say it's okay to use for bosses. In my opinion, Unawakened string is bad, probably because I have really bad aim, but I am sure to some people, Unawakened string is actually usable. Now for the Awakened one, it's okay, I'll put it in good since it has very high damage, and an actual good hitbox, so yeah, that's my thought on string. Bye.